Hello everybody, welcome back to New Millennia once again, and I have been a busy little bee over here. It's been kind of an interesting week, but basically the main thing is that I did a significant redesign of the weather lights. So, as you can see, they're now full-scale spotlights, as opposed to the dinky little ones that we had before, the ones that actually the Avondale uses. And that basically dramatically increases the range at which they can be observed clearly, even in very harsh weather, which I found to be kind of a problem because the small ones has such a small scale to, like, see through fog and snow and such, that you pretty much needed about 56 of them to get over there. And being a one-man operation, that's kind of a big ask. So I scaled them up. I then had to add the wind turbines because I was fairly certain I would be putting these things into areas that wouldn't get too much sunlight, and big rotor requires more power and as such. And that also required this big arm because they really couldn't, like, I couldn't find a decent way to actually, like, get these to work unless they were attached to the main body, and that was, yeah. And then I realized I'd been making big things quite a bit. So it would probably make sense to have them on landing legs, so that I could actually, like, build them here using these new projectors I installed over at manufacturing, looking nice, and then just lift them with the Avondale into position. But I also had to map out exactly where all of these things are, and as you can see, there's kind of a trail of them going up. How's my gas, out of curiosity? Good enough. It's good enough is the answer. So, let's have a bit of an overview here. So as you can see, they stretch across the mountain, as it were. Not necessarily the shortest route, also not necessarily like the smoothest or the shortest route, but definitely a route at the very least. We can check our GPS for this. So I have only 10 of these, as opposed to 56 that I would have had to have installed otherwise. And I basically just took the rover over and examined those, and they worked out to be about 10. Pretty nice, much better than the 56. So, the start of my day here is going to be actually building up the rest of them, the other 6 that we're missing currently, and plonking them down one by one with the Avondale. So, we'll see how long it takes for bad weather to set in, and then I will have a lot of trouble actually doing that. But, meanwhile, if I just plunk this here, there is the battery, which is kind of the main point here. So just plunk you there, and you too, and you as well. And I believe you require interior plate, which I don't have on me. But you just... there we go. So that is the bulk of it. And then on top of that, I just put a light armor block with a couple of these. I just need to make sure these are actually rotated the right way. Yep, there we go. And there we go. I'm fairly certain some of the spotlights on these are upside down, but that's not really a major concern for the most part. But yeah, so there we have that, and then when it's all built up, I just take that off, and I lift it off with the Avondale, and of course here comes the snow. Of course. But anyways, I will plonk these into place, and we'll talk a bit more about what's going on today. Well, the weather finally cleared. I swear that was a bad bit of snow, I have to say. And I also think I probably want to move where I put that last marker, because every so often I just get a bright green flash into basically every bedroom in the building. But to sort of like play a bit against that, I have also installed a white spotlight on the top of our chalet here. I had to move one of the old turbines. So that is now up there. And I think the color scheme that we're gonna go for here is that green are like path markers, like that one over there, which I can see from hecking miles away, jeez. Yellow will be like industrial, moderate danger kind of places, red will be like mining, very dangerous kind of locations, and white will be like habitation and such. So that should mean that if you get caught out in a snowstorm, you can follow the green ones until you are able to find a white or a yellow one. Ideally a white one, but a yellow one in a port, any port in a storm, I guess. But yeah, so this one's probably gonna move, but I'll keep it there for the time being. Might put it over there. That seems like a decent place. From there you should be able to see the white one. And let's just move out, shall we? Don't think I need this anymore. Might even want to put one over by the comms, actually. Call that a yellow. But there's no, like, actual interior structure there, so there's not really much point to going there unless you're doing a thing anyways. But okay. I do love how you can see the whole routes laid out before you over here. It looks gorgeous. I love that. And that now means that we can find our way from the chalet to a sort of like industrial area over there, entirely even in the worst of weather. It is wonderful. I did have to recharge the Avondale a little bit, because it can lift those things, but lifting like 10 of them into position and whatnot, coming back each time, did a bit of a number on the battery charge. But you know, I think we're doing okay. So, we now have a model for navigation in poor weather, and Lord knows there's a fair bit of poor weather around here. So, hopefully, that makes things a bit easier. Yeah, look at that. That's gorgeous. Love it. Whoop, we are way off target. There we go. Yeah, I always have to remember, the rear side of this has a lot more thrust than the forwards. It's probably fine. For the moment, anyways. And I'm fixing to land up on the... on the hydrogen, I think, there. If I'm not careful. I think I'm in the middle now. Good. Okay. Right. In before massive crash, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Okay, right. So with that now fully laid out, barring the potential change that we might do later on to the one right by the chalet, if we grab ourselves some steel plates, we can start to think about what we're going to be doing for basically everyone else. Currently, the only actual habitation available in New Millennia is the chalet, and the chalet is good. It's a nice place, but there's only one other bed, and it's meant to be more as like a quick stop kind of area. Like, you go there because it's literally your first day in the country, and you want to hang out and just like get your feet, get your groundings, that kind of thing. It's not really meant to be a place where anyone but me... Are we seriously out of hydrogen? Oh. Yeah, we're totally out of hydrogen. Oh dear. Oh dear. I turn those off and then presumably get some more ice at some point. Fortunately, the only thing here that runs on hydrogen is those engines and me. So, should be largely fine. Because everything else at least has these wind turbines to keep powered. Good. Okay. So let's head over to where we will be intending, at least, to build the actual main bulk of habitation for the area. And that is on t'other side of the chalet, because that way we can have all of the industrial stuff on the other side, on this side of the chalet, and we'll be able to then ensure that basically industrial and residential don't ever mix, and that also means that comms from our main sort of like dish over there at the chalet are always available, and basically makes things nice and centralized. Having a good centralized area is very, very sort of important for solving a lot of problems when it comes to, like, how are we going to handle sanitation, or what is transit going to look like, that kind of thing. Okay. So here we are, and there's a question here of, do I go for the very rocky area, do I aim for that sort of flat, that relative flat area over there? Bearing in mind that will be quite some kilometers away from the chalet. I guess the question really is, do I want the first few houses to be within walking distance of the chalet, or do we need to set up some kind of intermediate, at the very least, transit system? And I'm not really 100% certain about what to do there. For now, let's come down here and see just how far that is. The industrial area is about 5.5 kilometers away. So, if we use that as a metric, we might be able to see if this is, like, a reasonable distance. 5 kilometers is not really a distance you want to be from, like, rescue of any kind, but down here, you shouldn't need to be too much worrying about that, because you're pretty much in the middle of everything. Okay, there is definitely some topology to be concerned about here. Just gonna bring my light up a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot more topology here to be concerned about. This might be a little bit on the side of too mountainous, I guess would be the phrase. I don't know if we could theoretically build here very easily. So let's lift up a little bit. And maybe check out this flat area, or at least this relatively snowy area over here. Snow at least is easier to clear out, and of course we're going to end up with a lot more ice, which evidently we need in quite hasty supply. I think this will do better. I think this will be better for us. Okay. And that is less than 5 kilometers away from the chalet. So I'm gonna be away from all of the nightlife in the bustling capital of New Millennia, but, you know, I think I can deal with that. So let's sit down and find a place to mark out where we're gonna start building stuff. Ordinarily, I'd be doing this with my jetpack, but, don't really want to be doing that if we're low on... Oh, that is... Yeah, that's much nicer. Okay. That will do a much better job, I think. Yeah, this will be much better. Okay. So, we're just under 5 kilometers away from the chalet, which means we're also about 5 kilometers away from the main dish for communications, and now we're going to be working on laying out what we think a house should look like in New Millennia. So let's just get ourselves a basic 5x5. And over this way, I think. Yeah. Alright. So, everybody's going to need a bed. Ideally, everyone's going to need a kitchen, or at least a kitchenette. And everyone's going to need some kind of crafting access, I think, whether that be just a basic assembler and a basic refinery or other stuff, and if they want to expand beyond what we initially give them, they are absolutely welcome to. We definitely want to support creativity and personal, like, furthering inside of New Millennia. That's a big concern. You want that to be, like, the case. You don't want your country to sort of, like, be stymiing you in some fashion in that regard. We also need to bear in mind the internal space of this is equal to its dimensions -1 because of the modules we use. So, sort of more like that gives us 4x4 space. We also want to make sure there's windows, we want to make sure there's lights, we want to make sure everyone has a computer, and ideally some comms access of some description. Doesn't need to be a full-blown one like the chalet, does need to nonetheless be able to contact people in the event of, hey, like, is bridge cancelled tonight? I don't know. Are people still playing bridge? I genuinely don't. I couldn't tell you. I literally could not begin to tell you. And we want to make sure we actually have, like, a flat level on at least one side to have a doorway, because that will be better for anybody with disabilities of physical motion, that sort of thing. Oh, there's a lot. And just whilst I'm laying this out, I do tend to prefer using the interior ones for this, but we don't have an interior plate on us. Just while I'm laying this out, a little bit of interesting news kind of day for me, which is, let's start with the obvious part here. I know there's a pandemic. Like, that part I'm keenly, unfortunately even, aware of. And, can I make doors with no, it requires steel, does also require interior, but will not let me make it otherwise. Okay. I know it's bad, I think, is the first statement here. I know it's bad. I don't know fully how bad it is. I'm guessing it's pretty bad on the sheer basis of the fact that it's shut down, like, just all capacity for, like, sending people out here by now, or else I would have some friends around here. But I don't know. I don't have a clear and exacting figure of just what the how bad it is. Like, no one's giving me, like, daily updates on this. I know it's going really badly in the US. I know it's going very badly inside of the UK. But no one has actually, like, told me just on the regular exactly how bad this is. So, could be that you guys are getting over the worst of it, and you're, like, you'll be joining me in the near future. Could also be much, 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 much worse than that. But I don't know. And I'm not liable to know until people actually start getting here. So, yeah, I hope you guys are staying safe, at the very least. Just listen to your science, I guess. Use your best judgment. And if your government, apparently, can be quite bad at this, if your government is telling you contradictory or poorly researched things, heck them, I think would be the phrase. Use better judgment. Use somebody's better judgment. Okay, let's try and get some higher ceiling in here as well. So this is just gonna be a one floor. But hopefully that's a decent size for an initial kind of, like, place to live. I'm not sure. What should we have back here? That's the question. I guess storage. Put like a cargo container there. Where's the small? Oh, small requires steel. Okay, never mind. Can't build those just yet. Need to go and grab some stuffs. And we'll have a bed in here. So a couple of windows, at least. Some lights, obviously. We're gonna want to put a wind turbine on top. That'll give you some actual, like, sources of power. Let's see. Turbine. Blip. turbine. There you are. That's also a request. Everything I want to make that's not like just like basic building X, like X. It just seems to. Oh well. Okay. But yeah, so the social media team will be responding to comments and seeing what you guys would like to see inside of your initial habitation. I do have to stress the initial part, so do let me know in the comments exactly what amenities you think will be vital, what kind of things you'll need to survive and such your first day, particularly because you will be about 5 kilometers away from my chalet when you first move out, but that will be after we've specialized stuff and all sorts of it. If there's something direly required that's not in like of the default, then we'll probably be able to sort that. But otherwise, as the beginning of the first house here in New Millennia. Ah, it's wonderful. Loving it. And hopefully I will get to see you guys real soon. Hopefully. So until then, hope you've all enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next log. Bye! Your eyes are getting heavy. Your mind is feeling clouded. The sound of my voice is relaxing you. You feel an urge to support this and other content I produce by going to patreon.com/lying, where you can pledge and receive fun rewards for your obedience. You will remember to support patreon.com/lying.